What's up, YouTube? Erod212 here with another episode of The Back Nine. So today we're going to cover best Star Wars investments for $20 and under. A fantastic topic that I think everybody should take advantage of. Big shout out to Ben C from CBSI for giving me the ability to produce this episode for you guys. If you're not subbing up to CBSI or following that channel, check it out, man. I'm going to put a link to the website, and the articles in there, as I say every time, are just amazing. I learn something new every time I read these. Also, big shout out to Phil Lee from Vintage Comics and Toys for putting this list together. I think this one especially is one you really need to pay attention to and watch, because there's some really, really good picks here. So Phil writes, all Star Wars comics are going to get a bump in price with the Book of Boba Fett due to hit Disney Plus at the end of this year, following The Mandalorian Season 3, Obi-Wan and Cassian Andor series. So, I mean, you've got so much Star Wars stuff that's coming. And right now, it's kind of that lull period. It's the time for you to be buying the books, you know. The last 2 years, around the same time, we saw bumps. So I think it's safe to say that Star Wars comic community were experiencing a desire to stock up on cool runs, keys, and variants. I agree. It happens all the time. You see it with superhero stuff. You know, everybody goes for the flavor of the month. And then we start getting into the meat and potatoes when the series start coming out. And everybody starts speccing again and jumping in and sometimes overpaying. Now's the time to buy these books. First slide we're going to talk about is Star Wars number 43. This is the first appearance of Lando. Recently saw a copy sold for $2.99. On a normal day, $20 is on the low end for sales. This is a ridiculously underpriced, and we are getting a Lando series in Disney Plus at some point, and that comes from Chris Nelms. A young Lando series would be fantastic. I don't know if they'll recreate the old Lando. I haven't really heard much about this, but anything under $20 on any of these books, especially those older, you know, original series Star Wars books, which have picked up a lot of heat recently, are good buys to get. Peter Renner writes down Tales of the Jedi, The Sith War, number 1 and number 6. These books go together, and it is a great run. I still like Tales of the Jedi, number 1. The Sith Wars, number 1. First Mandalore, The Indomitable, and number 6, First Mandalore, The Ultimate, as spec plays. For Star Wars, I think both are still under $20. Been picking these up forever, it seems. If they do Revan, I would think that they would have to bring the Mandalore, the Ultimate, to face off against Revan for a good season or two. So again, I'm not as versed in the Dark Horse Star Wars as most are. So for me, this is a great education. And anybody who's looking for cheap specs, I'll be looking for stuff like this now, from now on. And now Jack Kornblatt writes, Galaxy's Edge later print variant run. I'm going to go with the later print runs of the Galaxy's Edge books. I remember once Van was posting market screenshots to myself and the other writers, and one of them he showed was a high sale for a Galaxy's Edge book. I had fairly randomly purchased several later printings of Galaxy's Edge from a dealer bin when I was new to the hobby, having no idea what they really were. So seeing the high sale of it kind of changed how I approached the hobby. I started looking for these kinds of comics with low print runs. And whereas before I was really exclusively focused on whether or not I thought a character could show up in the MCU. And also, who doesn't love a story about finding those random diamonds in the rough? We all love that hunt. On that note, you know, I remember a lot of these, especially like the Dark Horse books several years back, being in the $2, $3 bins. These Galaxy Edge books, you're probably finding still on the cheap books to jump on. As far as low print ones, think about this, like at the end of the Star Wars series, when you have Star Wars 155, 154, 153, the books were going at a lower print run because they weren't as popular anymore. Now 155 is a $90 book easily, or every time I see it at a show. So just something to think about. Those low print runs, it's the same thing that's been done with G.I. Joe, where from like issue 149 to 155, those books just, everybody wants them now. Topher picks a book that I love, and I pick up every chance I get just for the cover. But he picks Boba Fett Overkill number 1. Killer Adam Hughes cover of Boba Fett that most people still do not know about. Cover play of a popular character and done by Adam Hughes. Those people who pay for the Tomb Raider Adam Hughes covers in this era should also seek out this book. Couldn't agree more. This is just a badass cover. The way he plays with the yellows and the browns, Adam Hughes not doing a female character and doing it in this way. Oh, love it, love it. Great pick. Terry Harkness takes Star Wars #1 3D from 1988. These came in a poly bag with 3D glasses. The fact that the comic isn't Marvel in this era makes it special, and it celebrates the 10th anniversary of the first movie's release. This is a cool collectible. So for anybody who's ever seen this, they're tough to find with the 3D glasses because a lot of kids got these books and ripped them open, took the 3D glasses out. So it's probably not going to show up complete if you send it into CGC. The other thing is, because it was a novelty type of book for kids to pick up, they're condition sensitive, and the ability to find this book in a 9.8 or 9.6 category are tough. So if you see this diamond in the rough, and I've seen these at flea markets, actually picked a pair of these books up that were still in the plastic bag with the 3D glasses. So I'm gonna have to dig those books out because I have them somewhere. A nice pick right there. So now Walker picks Kanan the Last Padawan #5, and this is great stuff right here. Kanan #5 precedes Kanan #6, and also a Sabine Wren appearance. For $20, it's a steal. A lot of people say it's Kanan 6 that is Sabine Wren's first appearance. So can't go wrong with issue #5. It's still very early on, and I think all the Sabine Wren keys are going to be relevant once people see her in a live action. Couldn't agree more. This book has picked up a little heat, but not the heat it deserves. As we know, cameos and first appearances are all speculatory. Once that CGC label comes out and we can take a look at it, we'll see what that happens. But the market will dictate, and this is a good book to pick up under 20 bucks. Scoop it up every single day. All right, another good pick. Star Wars, The Clone Wars #3. Mike Morello says, for me, it's Clone Wars #3. First slave Ahsoka and third appearance of her, a very debatable fact, which is true. The market is all over the place on what's her second, actually her third appearances and stuff like that. It jumps from book to book, and everybody has their own opinion. Either way, this is a fun fan favorite version of a wildly popular character before her show hits. Now is the time to be picking up secondary Ahsoka keys. Yep, I picked this book up. I pick up #2, and anything that I think with Ahsoka is affordable yet has some type of irrelevance to it, because Ahsoka Tano's live series is going to be crazy. I think just people are going to go bonkers for anything Ahsoka. The first appearance is just through the roof. You can't even touch that book anymore. So why not go for the second, third, even fourth appearances on this character? And Andy Tomberlin picks Star Wars High Republic Adventures #1. No-brainer for under $5. Tons of firsts. Talbolta, Leox Gaides, Alfie Hollow, Geode, Orbatu, Glee, and Mari Santeca. And I probably botched all of those names up, but bear with me. An animated series based off this comic series would translate very well. High Republic is the future for the Star Wars property. High Republic was received very well by the fans. You know what? A lot of new characters that appeared in this with a lot of potential for the future. So always under $5, why not? Easy, cheap spec. We spend $5 on garbage all the time. Why not spend $5 on a book like this? It's a #1. And now Phil from Vintage Comics and Toys picks Star Wars Clone War Adventures free comic book day from 2004. A copy unstamped just sold for $19.99. It's been a while since I saw this sold for a bargain. This has the first appearance of General Grievous, who I think has a shot at being resurrected. If you didn't know, General Grievous was part android and his organs was transplanted from elsewhere. I believe after he was taken out by the Emperor and changed into a more sinister General Grievous. If somehow his brain was salvaged after Obi-Wan defeated him in Revenge of the Sith, then I can see an even more twisted and dangerous General Grievous than before. Darth Maul survived an epic fall and half his torso being cut off in half, and the Emperor survived being electrocuted, an explosion going down his shaft. With those examples, I think a torched General Grievous surviving isn't so out of the question. Obi-Wan could use another villain other than Darth Vader in the series, and he has an ultimate nemesis for him. An original story of him would take a couple of seasons to tell as well. you know what, you would like to see a backstory on Grievous, and just fun fact, not a fact, but just a fun little thing. I just picked up a copy of this with no stamp for $20 from Zap Comics at a show. So Phil is on point with this. Also, I picked up this book several years ago. What you don't know, guys have to take a look at. 9.8 on this book is probably a $300 to $400 book now. Tough to get, but they are still out there. A great book to pick. Talk about great picks. If you want to see the bonus pick, make sure you log on to CBSI's website, because they have their honorable mention in there. And my pick is going to be this book right here. This book, I feel, has a shot at being a key someday. It has a whole bunch of first appearances. Anytime you can get a bunch of first appearances for $4 or $5, I usually jump on it. That's the video for now. If you want to see more spec stuff like this from the back nine, then take a look at this video over here. And if you want to see what I did and what I picked up on my last video, take a look over here and check out some of the books I picked up.